Hello, Young Eagles. Today is Monday, September 28th. I've got my math journal right here. So today I'm going to put 928, and today is going to be two-step equations with fractions. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry. Let me scoot this up. Sorry. I got a brand new camera here at home. We're doing this with fractions and decimals. So I'm on page 18 of my math journal. Yours may vary. Some of you may have put more pages in the two-step equations ones. I'm not sure. A couple things. Today's our first face-to-face day. So those of you who chose face-to-face, who are actually sitting in the school right now, if you're A through L, hey, you're looking at me on the screen and you're looking at me up front. Those of you who are at home, you're just going to get just as much of my attention as you would have before. Same curriculum, same everything. There isn't a different thing that the kids that are face-to-face are doing than the virtual kids. Everything's going to be the same. If you need me, shoot me a Remind or Canvas. The difference will be, usually on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I was available all day if you needed me. Please continue to shoot me emails, but understand now that I have 7 periods of students in my room now. So if you send me a message at 9:30 in the morning and you're like, Mom, he still hasn't messaged me back and it's 4 o'clock, I can't check my email, I don't have a minute. Send me a message and I'll definitely get back to you, but understand it might take a while since now I have kids in front of me all day long. I'm not going to be at home like this anymore, right? So anyway, if you need me, please send me a message. Our CA, our math curriculum assessment, is this Thursday and Friday. Depending on where your name is in the alphabet, that's when it is, so don't stress now. But what I would do, and I've written it everywhere for you on the to-do list, sorry. Go back through your math journal and go back over the integer rules. Go back over the mixed numbers and improper fractions. Go back over adding fractions, subtracting fractions, multiply, divide, square roots. Go back over this. This is what's on the CA. From here up is what's on the CA. No surprises. Every question you should know how to do. So when someone says, how do I study for it? Well, don't go over what you do know a whole lot. Read through your math journal, but what you struggled with, go back over. There will be a review Wednesday, but how much can I cover in one class period, right, over getting you ready for a whole semester, 6 weeks. So if you didn't do well this first 6 weeks, it's because you didn't do the assignments every day like you were supposed to, and you tried to go back at the end and make them all up, and then you didn't get it. Nobody would just totally didn't understand it but did every assignment, not one kid. So if nothing else, this 6 weeks I would log on and do exactly what I'm supposed to every single day. And if you have trouble, that's what messaging me's for. Mr. Jones, I watched the video, I took the notes, I still don't get it. That's what tutoring's for. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 4:10. The last 4 tutoring sessions, not one kid showed up. That's fine if you don't need me, but the grades say otherwise, right? So anyway, I'm here. If you need me, please reach out. Don't be scared to say, I have no idea what I'm doing. That's fine. Tell me. But the CA will be a grade, and it'll be Thursday and Friday, Thursday or Friday, depending on your last name. We'll get to that later. But I would start reviewing now. I would knock this easy worksheet out. It doesn't take very long. And then I would go back and watch a few videos. I would read my math journal cover to cover. I'm not saying look at every example and take hours. I'm saying spend 10 minutes of your night tonight and thumb through your math journal. If you don't have a math journal, all the old modules are still there. Everything we've done is still in Canvas under modules. Every to-do list, every video, everything. Go back, scroll through the titles, and find a video that you remember, man, I wasn't good at dividing fractions or whatever, and watch that video. Or Google it, or YouTube it, or whatever. But you're responsible for that grade. It does matter, it does count, and it is this week. So let's keep going. Page 18, I'm not even going to write anything over here. I just wanted you to have this in here. It's going to be exactly the same as the two-step equations we've been doing. So I just wanted to show you that we've had that. But anyway, here's the assignment. And the assignment is no different than we've been doing. We're going to isolate the variable through inverse operations. We're going to go after the constant. Remember, the coefficient is what's in front of the letter. The letter is the variable. The constant is this guy on the same side as him. So I'm going to zoom in a little more. The first thing I want to do is get rid of this guy because I want the x to be all alone at the bottom. I want my answer to look like that. Some of these are easy, some of these are hard, but we're going to get them all right, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to do the opposite of minus 1.5. I'm going to add 1.5 to both sides. I'm going to remember to line up my decimals and fill in with zeros. I lined up the decimals. These cancel. And now I have 1/4 x equals 4.25. 4x equals 4.25. Remember what we said forever ago. Step 2 is always divide. Step 2 is always divide. If you want to write it right here, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Just so when you get here, you go, oh my gosh, there's a fraction and a decimal, and I don't know what to do now, Mr. Jones. Step 2 is always divide. What do we divide by? Whatever's in front of the variable. If it's a decimal, if it's a fraction, if it's a negative number, whatevs, we're going to divide by whatever's in front of the variable. In this case, it's 1/4. I'm going to divide both sides by 1/4. How do you divide fractions? How do you divide fractions? You keep, change, flip. So when I keep, change, flip and do 1/4 times 4/1, this cancels like we knew it would, thus the x by itself. And over here we keep, change, flip. We keep 4.25 over 1. We change divide to multiply. We flip 1/4 to 4/1. And now 4.25 times 4 is 16. No, I'm sorry. Is it 16? 4 times 4 is 16. The 0.25. 0 to 0. Oh, there, sorry. 17. Good Lord, I've done this 20 times today, and the time I hit record, I mess it up. So you see what I did there. 4.25 times 4. That's right here. Mr. Jones, you said it's always divide and you're multiplying. No, I'm dividing fractions. It just so happens that keep, change, flip, multiplying is how you divide fractions. I know it's a little tricky, but if you just remember that step 2 is always divide, 4.25 times 4, let's do it again. 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is the 10, and that's how we got 17. This shows you how important knowing how to multiply with decimals is. This shows you we had to know how to add decimals up here. So we're kind of incorporating we also divided fractions. We incorporated everything we've learned and put it all together. That's why when so many of you were having missing assignments early on, I kept emailing you. I kept texting your parents. I kept emailing you because you can't get behind. If you didn't know how to add fractions, divide fractions, add decimals, multiply decimals, you can't do this problem. And we're getting so far into the year that it's tough to go back to August 19th and go, well, here's what you're supposed, you know what I mean? I assume you're getting it. We had 3 tests, 2 tests, 3 quizzes, and 22 assignments, right? If you made it through all that, most of you are absolutely perfect. Those of you who are still behind are really going to start struggling. You're like, man, I hate math. It's too hard. No, you got behind. So start now doing everything you're supposed to do each day. We're only giving you 10 problems a night, man. How many are on the thing tonight? 10. You have 10 homework assignments, problems on this worksheet. You can't do 10 problems a night. You know I'm going to do a few of them for you. You can't do 10 problems. So let's pick another one that looks funny. How about 5? Look at number 5. Anytime you see x over 2, this flips kids out. They see this and go, oh my gosh, I have no idea what to do. How many x's do you see there? 1, x over 2 is the same as 1/2 x. You can always put a 1 there and put the x next to it. There is no difference in x over 4 or 1/4 x. There is absolutely no difference. You want me to prove it? Let's say x is 20. Here it would be 20 over 4, which is 5. Here it would be 1/4 of 20, which is 5. The answers are the same. It doesn't matter how you write it. So let's write it this way, because look at number 1. We just did number 1 and it was 1/4 x and it didn't give us any problems. So anytime you see x in the numerator of a fraction, you won't see it in the denominator, put a 1 there and put the x over here. So half of x plus 2.75 equals 7.5. The first thing I want to do is isolate the variable through inverse operations. I want to get rid of this plus 275. I'm going to do that by subtracting 2.75 from both sides. I filled in with zeros. Now 1/2 x equals 10 minus 5 is 5, 14 minus 7 is 7, and 6 minus 2 is 4. So 1/2 x equals 4.75. Now I'm going to divide. Step 2 is divide. I'm going to divide both sides by whatever is in front of the variable. How do I divide something by 1/2? I keep, change, flip. I keep whatever it is I'm talking about. In this case, it's 4.75. I keep this. I change the division to multiply, and I flip 1/2 to 2 over 1. It's the same thing we did right here. There's no difference. I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. Keep, change, flip. Dividing fractions is multiplying by the reciprocal. So when I multiply this side by 2 over 1, it cancels. Again, Mr. Jones, you said step 2 is divide. I did. I divided both sides by 1/2. Keep, change, flip is multiplying by 2 over 1. X equals whatever 4.75 divided by 2 is. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 7 3 times. It goes into 15 7 times. And it goes into 10 5 times. So the answer is 2.375. So these are not that difficult. You're doing the same thing every time. It's what we've been doing for a week. If you've been keeping up and paying attention, this should be easy for you. If you're behind, you see what happens when we fall behind. We're not going to leave you. I mean, you're going to fail, but you got to catch up. Let's do one more. I'm going to do this one a little quicker because we're running out of time. I'm going to do this one quick, though. I only have a minute. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. 2/3, I use x equals 2.5, right? I'm going to keep, change, flip, so I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. I multiply both sides by 3 over 2. I flipped the 2/3. X equals 2.5 times 3, which is 7.5 divided by 2. 7.5 divided by 2 is 3.75. I know I went really fast, but the video's about to cut off. But I did 3 of your 10 homework problems for you. Good luck today, guys. Can't wait to see y'all.